I slept beneath the borrachero tree. Its bell-shaped flowers gave me visions. Suddenly, I found myself lost in eastern Colombia. A huge, colorful snake came and ate me. When I woke, I had merged with the reptile. Half man, half snake. A strange creature slithering through the forest. This story from Colombian street artist Malegria was about sleeping under a borrachero tree. But not only artists avoid sleeping beneath its leaves, all Colombians know you don't sleep beneath the borrachero tree, because, after all, you might never wake up. Sound strange? Keep watching, and you'll realize just why this mysterious tree is so dangerous. The borrachero tree comes from the northern region of South America. Other names for it are datura or floripondillo. Roughly translated, its name means drunken binge. It's related to deadly nightshade, a famously beautiful plant with deathly berries. The borrachero tree doesn't have berries, but it does have lovely white and yellow flowers and smells wonderful. It is very beautiful, but very dangerous. That's why many people consider it a symbol of Colombia. The charming cocoa seeds of the tree have a dark potential. Over the years, people have used the borrachero tree to make a dangerous drug called scopolamine. The seeds of pods from the tree make the drug. People extract the seeds and grind them down. Then they add bleach and other chemical elements to turn it into scopolamine. It is a small white powder and looks similar to cocaine. But Colombians fear this drug far worse than they fear cocaine. It smells of nothing and tastes of nothing, making it undetectable. On the street, they call scopolamine the devil's breath. You don't need to take much for it to have an effect on you. You can be under its influence by simply smelling it. It is as simple and dangerous as the devil's breath. But what does scopolamine actually do? And why do so many Colombians fear it? Well, it has a similar effect to when you sleep beneath the borrachero tree. The natural chemicals play with your mind. You enter a kind of chemical hypnosis. You might look fine and normal from the outside, but scopolamine makes you lose your free will. People can make suggestions and you will blindly follow their advice, even if it means hurting yourself or ruining your life. It means that people can take advantage of you, and they do. Some call it the zombie drug because you act like a mindless creature following orders. You might not look drugged, you can communicate and walk, but your own consciousness traps you. The effect of scopolamine is immediate. Your pupils dilate, your mind becomes lucid and easily manipulated. So how does the science work? Simply put, your body blocks the movement of acetylcholine. This is an important function in the brain to slow your pulse and contract muscles. That's why your muscles loosen and your heart rate increases. It also controls more complex connections in your brain, blocking neurotransmitters that carry information assorted with short-term memory. As a result, you simply become like a child. You trust everyone around you and follow their instructions. The borrachero tree has always been a big part of Colombian history. Indigenous communities would also use the seeds to create the drug. In ancient times, the tribal chief would have many wives. When he died, the tribe would want to kill his wives. But instead of murdering them, they would use the drugs of the borrachero tree. By putting them into a trusting, childlike state, the tribe could convince the wives to kill themselves. They would dig a hole and convince the wives to climb inside. Influenced by the drug of the tree, the wives would literally step into their own graves. To this day, South American shamans still consider the plant to be sacred. The borrachero tree has popped up many times throughout the past. In 1910, a respected doctor called Holly Crippen killed his wife after a party at their house. He used a form of scopolamine to control her before her death. Joseph Mengele, a German SS officer, also used it during World War II in the Gestapo. Additionally, both the CIA and the Soviet Union used the drug as a truth serum in the 1960s. However, due to its side effect of hallucinations, its use was short-lived. In the early 1900s, doctors administered scopolamine combined with morphine during childbirth due to its calming qualities. Even nowadays, medics use the drug of the borrachero tree to control nausea and motion sickness. But mainly, people use scopolamine in very dark ways, especially on the streets of Colombia. It really is the drug of the devil. There is nothing recreational about scopolamine. It is inherently criminal because its purpose is to manipulate others. You can get high and hallucinate on the roots and flowers of the borrachero tree, but the seeds are what make the drug. And nowadays, people use the drug for one reason: Crime. Most incidents happen in bars and nightclubs. Often, young and attractive women target wealthy-looking men. Then, they slip the drug into his drink, or they simply blow the powder into their face. Legends go even as far to say criminals will often ask you for directions on a map containing the powder and then blow it on you so you relinquish control. People rob or abuse their victims, then leave them with nothing on a park bench. When they wake up the next morning, they are unlikely to remember what happened. It's the perfect drug for criminals because the victim doesn't remember anything. If they don't remember the crime, they won't report it to the police. What's most frightening about it is that, as well as forgetting, the victim will even help the criminals. Many people have been robbed while using the drug, including a Colombian woman called Carolina. A man stopped her at a bus stop and asked for directions. She took him to the place and they drank juice together, which is when he slipped her the drug. After drinking, she lost all her willpower. She guided the man back to her house. Together, they ransacked everything. She even helped him carry her furniture downstairs. Then, she gave the man all the savings of her boyfriend and his expensive cameras. Under the hypnosis of the drug, she wasn't aware of what she was doing and only reported it to the police station afterwards. But she was still luckier than some. Another stranger drugged Ivan Gomez with scopolamine. At a bar, two girls approached him and they drank rum together with him. He left his drink with them when he went to the bathroom. He has no memory of the night after 2 a.m., but he woke the next morning in the neighborhood park, beaten and with his documents missing. They stole 6 million pesos from his bank cards. When he told the bank, they showed a video of him casually taking money out from an ATM with 2 people. Ivan had long-term side effects of the drug. He suffered short-term memory loss and recurring nightmares. The worst thing is, he will never remember exactly what happened that night. Even still, it could have been a lot worse for him, as overdosing is common. Colombia is full of horror stories like Carolina's and Ivan's, but stories of the devil's breath have traveled further than South America. In 2015, police arrested 3 people for using scopolamine on people in Paris. They stole millions from their victims. The criminal drug of the borrachero tree is worldwide, even if the tree itself is only in South America. It has been part of popular culture for a while. There is even a traditional song about the tree in Colombia. Newspapers and videos have told stories of victims influenced by the drug. This helped spread awareness of the danger of scopolamine and led many journalists to claim it's the most dangerous drug in the world. So why shouldn't you sleep beneath the borrachero tree? There are many different legends about what the tree will do to you. Colombian mothers tell their children to avoid it. They say the leafy canopies and bright flowers give you strange dreams. Others say you will fall asleep involuntarily and live forever in a dream world. But the reason is simple. You shouldn't sleep under the borrachero tree because you can die. The risk is the same as with the drug scopolamine. If you have too much, you might have a heart attack or respiratory failure. And if you sleep beneath the tree, the fragrance of the flowers might cause the same end. But death isn't the only immediate problem. An overdose of scopolamine can cause other issues. You might react by getting blurred vision and fevers with lasting effects. Hallucinations can also trigger psychosis or confusion that haunts you forever. Another terrible scenario is you can fall into a coma. So if you sleep beneath the borrachero tree, you might not die, but you may never wake up. The hazy effects of the borrachero might sound like a story, but they are very real. The science is difficult to understand. Like, how can we lose free will just for one day? The truth is, the mind is a mysterious thing, and chemicals can easily manipulate it. So how can you avoid the borrachero tree? Well, firstly, it's a good idea to avoid sleeping outside anyway. You're extremely vulnerable to criminals if you do anyway. And secondly, you should always be vigilant while traveling, especially in places like Colombia. Locals often say that people sensationalize the stories of scopolamine. Some say the tales just encourage the dangerous image of Colombia. But still, the truth is that travelers are targets. They can become victims if they aren't careful. Never leave your drink alone or accept one from a stranger. Be aware of your surroundings. Especially if you are a man, don't flaunt your cash. Don't stand out as a wealthy individual unfamiliar to the culture. Sadly, there is no way to ensure total safety. The borrachero tree is fundamental to Colombia. It's part of the native history, the geography, and unfortunately, the driving drug culture. Even so, it isn't difficult to find scopolamine on the streets of Colombia. Some people even have a borrachero tree on their street or in their backyard. 10 grams will cost you 400 or 500 pesos, only about 15 cents. It's easy for criminals to find and create. That's why there's an organized crime culture around scopolamine, and its use extends beyond petty crime. The drug of the borrachero tree is part of a huge crime network. Additionally, there are around 50,000 incidents in Colombia. This means embassies are on high alert. They try to protect foreign citizens by offering travel safety advice, but what they can do is limited. Even US government members have been drugged and robbed in Bogota. Many blame the prominent drug culture of Colombia. Others blame the politics of the country. They say the ongoing civil war has led to unrest and social chaos. But one thing most Colombians agree on for certain is that the world of scopolamine is out of control. So take the advice of Colombia. Don't sleep under the borrachero tree. Its flowers, roots, and seeds are lethal. And not only in their natural form, the deadly tree is even more dangerous in the drug form of scopolamine. If you don't die, you may at least ruin your life. So if you're feeling tired in Colombia, find a safe bed for the night. The borrachero tree will give you anything but sweet dreams. So will you be extra careful next time you travel? And have you heard any stories related to the drug or other similar ones? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.